So Aston Villa are FA Youth Cup champions for a 5th time after beating Holders Manchester City 3-1 here at Villa Park. 25,074 people in attendance, a lot of younger fans, and for many I think it's probably their first game here at Villa Park, which is obviously fantastic. Villa have lifted a trophy at the end of it, don't get used to it. Well, actually I say that. It's a bright future ahead. Villa won the FA Youth Cup most recently, back in 2021, the likes of Louis Barry, Conor Chukwuemeka, Brad Young, Ben Koscielny, that group, Arjun Reiki, Aaron Ramsey, lots of talented players there that have gone on to have careers elsewhere, some still at the club. But this crop of youngsters, Jimmy Shan said after the game, they're a special group. And what I like most actually about his post-match interview was the fact that he said some of them already switching their focus to Thursday. For those who don't know, Villa under-18s have an opportunity to win the under-18 Premier League South. Manchester City won the Premier League under-18 North last weekend, beating Derby County 4-3. Dramatic game for them. And these two teams are the best in the country in their age group, but at Villa Park today, yeah, Villa outclassed City, I'd say. City obviously have some very talented players, but Villa, it wasn't just the home backing. There was points in the game where you're talking set pieces, duels, all of those things. Villa, yeah, come out on top across the board. City, I think their goal difference in the Premier League North is 70 plus, I believe. They score lots of goals. They had a few chances after they opened the scoring in the second minute, but nothing they managed to take advantage from. They did take advantage from a bit of a mistake early on from Sam Proctor playing the ball out from the back. It was Harrison Miles, the Man City midfielder, very highly rated, and rightly so, played very well today again. Nipped in, played the ball to the City striker who finished past Proctor, but Villa responded moments later. The ball coming in from Cole Brannigan, we'll get to him soon. After, I must say, Kocher won the corner. He was very aggressive in the press, tenacious effort from him. Before the final, no player had scored more goals in the FA Youth Cup in the FA Youth Cup campaign than Kocher. He wins the corner, Brannigan swings it in, and it's TJ Carroll arriving. He was challenged, but grew high to the box and headed past keeper Watmouth. After that, Villa were strong in transition, quick on the break, happy to let City have the ball in front of them. That's what Shan said after full time. But they held their positions well, really well disciplined throughout the game, Villa were. And then Brannigan comes up with a moment of magic. It come from a set piece as well. Aidan Borland on the other side this time. Looks like he was going to put it in Swinger. Plays a 1-2. His cross then cleared by the City captain in the box, headed away, but then only to Brannigan on the edge of the box. So the edge of the box, he was a bit actually further out than that really. Kind of cut across the ball, fantastic technique. I don't want to say sliced it, because that sounds like it would be going off target, but the technique he used, over the ball, pinged it into the top corner, no chance for the City goalkeeper. What a moment for Brannigan. That will live with him forever, wherever his career goes. That'll be, this is probably one of the first, or the first moment in his career that he can look back on and say, well, put it this way, it's something that a lot of players who've won the FA Youth Cup before and have gone on to win Premier League titles and domestic trophies, European trophies, they'll always talk about the FA Youth Cup. And for Brannigan, that's a moment that he'll never forget. So that was fantastic to see, and for him, what a goal. I don't know if there's many better FA Youth Cup final goals than Brannigan's, to be fair. Jamal Loba making it 3-1 in the 66th minute. Villa absorbed some pressure from City, but Jamal Loba, who's been in around the first team more so than any other player in this side today. Aidan Borland's been training, and so have other players, but Jamal Loba's been known in quite a few matchday squads. So he bopped up with his goal. Very silky player, glided off the left, cut inside on the right, slammed the ball past the keeper from range again. So two really nice goals there, and a set play too. to equalise shortly after Villa fell behind. It was Rodrigo Fortes who gave a nice little dummy for João Maloba to then pick the ball up and progress from there. In defence, again, TJ Carroll scoring the goal, so he got a 10 out of 10 for me in my match ratings. But Leon Ruth, really like Leon Ruth. He's got size about him, like Carroll as well, dominating in the box. But similar to Tyrone Mings, really, you can see comparisons there. How he sweeps the ball onto his left side, picks a pass well, but is really dominant in the box. He loves defending. Same can be said for Carroll, of course. Carroll, by the way, since the turn of the year in the 6 league games he played in the under-18 Premier League, he scored 3 goals. So yeah, clearly a threat in the box, and we saw that again today. He actually nearly scored again soon after equalising for Villa. But Leon Ruth, yeah, really like him. Signed from Luton last year, I believe. So clearly got bright future ahead of him. Spoken about Fortes, and then at right back, Tristan Rowe. Lots of overlaps, combined very well with his teammates. Clearly technically very good, and again another player, as all of these lads have, bright futures, but they're only, some of them, 17, 18 years old. So yeah, lots of development and work needed, of course, but it's a fantastic day in their very young careers and in their development that they can perform like they did today against, again, a City side who were formidable before today. They last lost in November 23 against Derby. Something silly like 20 plus games that they have won since then. So yeah, a fantastic side. But Villa, I don't want to say they made them look average. That's taking it too far. It's a competitive game for sure. But Villa come out on top 3-1 winners. So yeah, massive credit there. George Hemmings taking the ball really well under pressure in the middle of the park. Borland isn't the biggest player, of course, and he's one of those where you think, well, he'll pick up the ball, turn, play it, very neat in possession, and he is. But 2 things stood out to me, which was his tackling and his tenacity, getting around the pitch, pressing well. But the tackling, there's 3 or 4 occasions where he's in a 50-50 duel and he comes out on top and you don't expect him to. So really like that from Borland, who was the captain today. I had on the right, you had Bradley Burrows and Cole Brannigan combining well in that kind of half space, flipping every so often, causing problems. And then Kocher, who, yeah, really impressed, leading the line. There was, it's always hard to compare a player about where they're going to go in the career, of course, but in the style of Brad Young, running in behind, causing issues with their pace, that's something that reminded me, Kocher reminded me a little bit in that kind of ilk of player, which, yeah, good to see, because although he's scored lots of goals in the FA Youth Cup campaign, he's got much more to his game than just finding, the back of the net. And of course, João Maloba on the left, yeah, a player who joined from West Brom and is impressed, obviously, in the youth sides, and now on a big stage as well, kind of leaving his mark. So yeah, all round a fantastic day for Villa's under-18s, and as I mentioned earlier, I think that they now have a chance to win the Premier League under-18 South division, which they will do if they pick up 2 more points in the next 2 games against Southampton, because that's the Thursday, and then Arsenal after that, both at home, I believe. So they should manage to get over the line there, hopefully on Thursday, get the job done. Of course, this under-18 Premier League, FA Youth Cup side is a mix between under-18 players, of course, but also players who play up in the 21s, and some of them being in and around the first team too, like João Maloba, ball and training sometimes. So yeah, a mix of players. But Jimmy Shan saying that, while music was playing and the players are partying to music that isn't his cup of tea, that yeah, some of them showing real maturity to talk to the peers and teammates and saying Thursday's got to be right, we need to be back on it, which is really encouraging. It's not just a good performance, but also I think these players are well aware that they there's a lot more to do in their careers to get to the point where the likes of Jacob Ramsey and Morgan Rogers have got to. Those 2 players on the Villa Park pitch afterwards celebrating with the players, which is great to see. Messages from from Aaron Ramsey to Cole Ramsey, younger brother of Aaron, and Jacob. I don't think he was in the squad. No, he wasn't in the squad today, but he's in and around the group, the 18s, of course. And yeah, messages from his older brothers, other players as well that have been in the squad in the last 4 years. So that was really encouraging. And then finally, Jimmy Shan talking about how he's, as is the case in any academy, taking ideas from Unai, the first team manager, obviously, taking kind of tips and copying different things in terms of how he plays, because of course if these players in 2 years are going to be in the first team at Villa, nothing can be a shock to them in terms of style, structure, those different parts. So yeah, that's encouraging. Talking about, you know, the identity of Aston Villa as well in his post-match interview. So this isn't a case of a disconnect where the Villa's 18s are playing a different brand of football, and in 2 years you know, your right back's being asked to do something completely different at first team level. No, it all needs to be linked together, and that's how that transition's eased. So yeah, big futures for a lot of these players. And again, this winning the FA Youth Cup isn't something that Villa haven't done. This is now the 5th time that they've done it in their history, which is obviously fantastic. I don't know how many titles other clubs have had. But yeah, definitely not something to overlook, especially when you're going to beat a side like City, who were looking to win it for the consecutively for the first time, having won it last season as well. Again, lots of strong players in their side, but look what Villa have done today. So yeah, fantastic afternoon. And again, I believe I said this from the start, it's been a while since 12 minutes. I do ramble, but again, just nice to see so many kind of younger supporters getting into it. And again, for some that might be the first taste of Aston Villa, so that's something that again they can look back hopefully in 10 years, whatever it may, 20 years, and so my first go was the FA Youth Cup final when we saw these players win this trophy for Villa, and maybe they get into the first team, and you're remembering that Brannigan goal as well. So yeah, real feel good factor for Villa.